Amazing games come out every year, but along with those comes amazing games that no one ever had the chance to play. Musso Games presents the top 10 games that were never released. Starting off this list, we have Super Mario's Wacky Worlds. This game was set to release in 1993 as a sequel to Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. The game was actually going to put Mario in a real-world atmosphere as opposed to the Mushroom Kingdom, and it was being developed for the Philips CDI. If you don't know, Nintendo had partnered with Philips to allow them to use their Nintendo franchises for games on the CDI. Unfortunately, they soon realized if you're not Nintendo, you probably shouldn't make Nintendo games because they cranked out some of the worst Nintendo licensed games of all time. After terrible sales and reviews for the CDI, Super Mario's Wacky Worlds was scrapped. Come to think of it, I'm not sure this game would have turned out that great anyway. Coming in at number 9, we have Star Wars 1313. There's not much I can say about this game that hasn't already been said a million times, which is why it's so low on this list. But for those of you who don't know, it was going to be a much more gritty, mature take on a Star Wars game. A third-person shooter where you play as none other than Boba Fett. Everything that's been leaked about this game looked amazing, but unfortunately, we'll never have the chance to find out until Disney decides to finally finish and release it. But hey, at least Battlefront looks awesome. At number 8, we have Mega Man Universe. In 2010, Capcom announced a new Mega Man game for Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network. The game was apparently going to be very much more along the lines of Mega Man 2, and even feature a level creator. Mega Man fans were super pumped, but a few months later, Capcom said it was cancelled. Damn you, Capcom. Damn you. Number 7 is Star Fox 2. It was going to further the storyline, and they called it a true 3D shooter experience. There was even going to be a vehicle transformation mechanic, but that was later scrapped. The game was actually fully completed and released in Japan, but the US never saw it. Apparently it was because the SNES lifespan was almost depleted, and the 64 was getting closer to release, so they decided to hold off on the true 3D shooter until the 64 was available. Thankfully, Star Fox 64 was amazing, and it's still one of the most respected Nintendo games ever. And the vehicle transformation mechanic has now been implemented into the new Star Fox game for the Wii U, Star Fox Zero. Still, it would have been nice to have Star Fox 2 back in the day. I envy you, Japan. I really do. Number 6 is one of my personal favorites on this list, and that's Insane, a game designed by none other than Guillermo del Toro. If you don't know, del Toro is the director behind movies such as Pacific Rim, Hellboy 1 and 2, and infinitely creepy Spanish horror film, Pan's Labyrinth. And he's always publicly shared interest in making a video game. For a game to come from his brain meant we were definitely in store for something terrifying, and he would say you're absolutely correct. Insane was going to be a horror game directly from the mind of del Toro. Bad news is, when THQ shut down, development of Insane went with it. Fortunately though, del Toro now has the rights back in his hands, and he said that there is a company very interested, but it would still be a year or two until we see the finished product. Hopefully he's telling the truth, and one day the game will be out and this list will be obsolete. I'm still holding out hope. Number 5 goes to Gotham by Gaslight, a canceled Batman game that was being developed by the company behind the hit game series Fear. This Batman game was inspired by the comic of the same name, and if you don't know anything about that comic, which I didn't either until doing research for this video, then allow me to fill you in. This comic had Batman in Europe in the Victorian era, tracking down possibly the most brutal serial killer of the time, Jack the Ripper. Yes, you heard me right. This was going to be a video game where you play as Batman tracking down Jack the Ripper. For some reason this game couldn't find a publisher, and maybe that's because it sucked, but the theme is there and the premise is there. I say, make this thing. Make it creepy and dark, and very character and story based. Don't get me wrong, I love the Arkham games, but I still wouldn't mind seeing a fresh take on a Batman game, where it's actually ultimately about doing detective work. It would be like Batman, Sherlock Holmes, and LA Noire all rolled into one. At number 4 we got Project Hammer, a game that was being designed to release in the early years of the Wii. The game was in slow development for over 5 years, undergoing change after change until it was eventually shelved indefinitely. The developers have apparently said that they just couldn't find a way to make it fun. The reason why this is so high on my list is because I freaking love hammers. Don't ask me why, but in RPGs and dungeon crawlers, I'm always the guy with the giant hammer smashing the shit out of everything. If I could have a game specifically designed for that, I would love it. Please someone make an amazing hammer-based game. Screw the motion controls since they're basically dead at this point anyway, and just make a fun game. Call it whatever you want. I'll be waiting. Sliding in at number 3, there's Furious 4. Set to be published by Ubisoft as part of their Brothers in Arms series. This game was essentially Inglourious Basterds the game. You play as one or maybe all of these 4 characters in a fictional version of Nazi Germany during World War II. You have one goal: find Hitler and kill him. The clip of this bar scene makes me immediately think of Inglourious Basterds, and I'm sure it does you too if you've seen the movie. And to me, there's nothing wrong with that. I, for one, prefer fictional games as opposed to historically factual games. So, I'd be down for this game right now. Cool design, fun premise, sign me up, Ubisoft. Oh wait, it was cancelled. Right. For number 2, we have Agent, a Rockstar game that was going to be stealth and action-based. I don't think I'm alone when I say that Rockstar generally kicks ass. I mean, for real, who doesn't love Grand Theft Auto 5? I'm also a sucker for a good stealth game, so for me this was a no-brainer to put high on the list. Rockstar has said it had the potential to be as big or bigger than Grand Theft Auto. While that is definitely not true, I do believe a stealth action game by Rockstar would be fantastic. Apparently this game is still going to come out eventually, but I wouldn't hold your breath. I mean, it was announced all the way back in 2009, and there's no reason why this game shouldn't be out now unless it was cancelled. You guys only have billions of dollars from GTA 5 alone. No excuse. Make Agent already, damn it. And finally, at number 1, we have Half-Life 3. No, I'm just kidding, that game's confirmed. The real one is Sonic Extreme. Originally designed for the Sega Saturn, this game is just wow. I mean, wow. For a Sega Saturn game in early development, I'm still impressed. It looks like Mario Galaxy for Sonic, which I'm completely wanting to play right now. For those of you who don't know, Sonic is one of my favorite video game characters of all time, and unfortunately, hasn't been treated so well in recent times game-wise. Honestly, the best Sonic game I played recently is Sonic Dash on my iPhone. That's sad. It's really sad. The last good game was Sonic Colors, and even that wasn't amazing. We need another incredible Sonic game, because we deserve it. If Rayman can still make awesome games, so can you, Sonic. I mean, look at that footage. Come on, update the graphics and release that already. Well guys, that's all I got for you this time. What canceled game were you most excited about? Tell me in the comments below and we'll spark up a little discussion. If you found this video interesting at all, then please share it with a friend, like it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more things like this. I've got a lot more videos coming, so you don't have to wait too long. Also, I know that there are many other widely anticipated games that were canceled that I didn't mention. Stuff like The Last Guardian, StarCraft Ghosts, BC, and the new Blizzard MMO codenamed Titan. But you know, this is my list, so whatever, man. No, seriously guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.